All right, let's get started here. How you guys doing? Welcome. Thank you for joining our show. I just want to remind everyone you have to share and like. I do lots of things. I give you some great information here and there, and that's not all, every second of my talking is greatly beneficial to you. But I do drop in a few pearls here and there. And I would appreciate if you share the video and like and follow and ring the notification bell, subscribe, all those good things you do for your other folks there, and give me a hand. And let other people know about the channel on YouTube and wherever you see me, and just hey, this guy's worth a listen here and there. You could spend all your day listening to me, but I got some things on the boilerplate there. It may interest a few of you. Okay, so what we're going to do, this is the first time for this type of a show. We're still looking for certain, show types that fits our day to day. I think nothing really fits my day to day because every day it's a different day. It's a new day, so I guess there's new things every day. And so there's new different shows I'll do from time to time, whatever fits the moment. Today, before I had to do a few more broadcasts today. If I can get them through, I have a few appointments to deal with this afternoon. So I'm trying to get something through in the morning here. We are going to have a show on the Replicator, Spaceperium, as many of you know. It's a game that we're developing, and within the game, there's another piece of software that we have put together. I say we, it was really me and I and Reverend Dr. Gilberto Rosado. The team here has put together a replicator. It's very interesting piece of software equipment. It's to be used within the gameplay, and it's a fantastic business opportunity actually for anyone that is trying to resolve traffic issues with their website. You're trying to sell some products. Perfect for someone who makes their own products, crafts, and things of that nature. A perfect scenario. And so what it does is that it's actually like, if you ever saw Star Trek, it's like the replicator of Star Trek. Whenever they wanted to eat or they needed a new pair of shoes or some type of clothing, they would just go into the replicators, like their Star Trek microwave oven, but actually it would replicate things. It would bring the shoe there or have food there, coffee. It was good for a lot of things. They didn't show it much in Star Trek. They didn't give it too much heavy importance, but the replicator would replicate everything, anything actually. So ours does. Ours, you get whatever you need through the replicator here. So because it's integrated into the game, it's very interesting economic opportunity for people out there who you have your Amazon websites, stores of different types. If it's your drop shipping in particular, you can if you've been thinking about it, and you can have a very super niche, micro niche type of store. And even if you don't, it's good for you if you can make a features, a daily sales type of thing, It's perfect for using with the replicator, because of course today that people are told in the game that they have to go and use the replicator, they will go and they will actually make purchases. It's good to have your daily features, you see, so that it can give it. That's where it'll open up. So just since I started talking about that, why don't I just do that right now and just show you that on screen? So let's go over there and let you guys see that. I think it's just a fantastic opportunity as an internet marketer myself for you guys to make some. It's an easier way to have a store online, to start making money from doing stuff online. And at this point, it's only if you want to be part of this, it's only going to cost you about $25 a month to have your website on this. So again, what it uses is, this is just a graphic. So of course the date is off, and the nothing is going to work here with the push of a button. This is a picture only. But if you can see closely, we have all the categories. It's basically the same categories or departments you will find on Amazon. And so if your website store features any type of product that fits within these within Amazon, then it will fit here as well. So uh, again, the best way to use this is to have a daily feature page where your daily features will always be seen day to day. Plus the fact that players will be encouraged and will get credit for using the replicated every day, even when they're not playing the game. They can do their shopping through the replicator. Is their replicator. Again, so if you're, and you'll probably wonder, well, why would they use the replicator if they can just go to Amazon and and get whatever they want, or whatever store, online store they typically use, or even why won't they go to their neighborhood store? If they're particularly have a favorite store, and where to get their thing. And the reason they're going to use the replicators, that is the whole game itself is a hybrid game. In other words, it combines real life, everyday life, with the game life. So the game encourages a mixing up, or a mixture of real life role playing within the structure of the game itself. So yes, so actually they're never really out of the game. In other words, they're always in the game. So even their day to day, they go to work or whatever, they are in the game still. So yeah, so when they'll get into the habit sooner or later of just using the replicator. The replicator will be their store, their place to go whenever they need something. And so that's what they will use. In the near future, some of you know we do our restaurants. We're developing restaurants. We have a few brands that we're developing, and these will be all over the United States. So, God willing, of course, we always seek the help of the Father in all the things that we do. But in the case of this, the interaction with the replicator is that our restaurants will be featured here. So, of course, when they're at work and they want to have a lunch even delivered to their workplace, they can just simply go and get to their replicator, and by then most probably they'll have an app so that it can connect to the replicator through their phone, their communication devices, right? That's what we call them here in Spaceperium. And they will be able to, through the replicator, be able to, and do their shopping at any point in any place that they can find themselves. So it's really something that's going to really expand into their day-to-day use. So that's the reason. They also get credit whenever they're using the replicator. It benefits them in the game. It makes them more skillful in the things that the game requires. So that is a key point as well. So we obviously will have a closed market, by the way, as well. It's not like we have to go advertising. You have to go advertising and go looking for traffic and targeted traffic, pay for traffic and all that. Just your $25 a month is going to just place you where traffic is going to be. It's simple. This is a simple process. When I thought this, when this thing came to my head, I said, this is makes it all just easy and wonderful. So, yeah. Again, they're going to be doing their shopping. It's a closed market. They are greatly incentivized to make their purchases, even their private purchases, their personal, not private, but personal. They should be private too sometimes, right? Purchases through this replicator because it's part of their game experience. It just brings that whole thing together, and it's a closed market. This replicator is not something that's going to be promoted to anyone. It's only for those who are in the game, and that constitutes a closed market. Some of you may consider that a forced market. In other words, these are customers that have to buy through the replicator. They have to go and purchase through this machine, if you will. And so that's it. So we have closed in traffic, locked in traffic, and all you have to do is be there or be square, right? So that's it. I think it's a great program. The software is straightforward. It's part of a game. It's part of gameplay. It's highly incentivized for them to make their purchases. You will get traffic. Absolutely, don't have to even worry about it. I think it's the best thing if you're into any type of affiliate marketing. There is services here. There is a services button or category here as well. So business services or personal services, and also localized. This is a great thing about this because the game is local. It's not just a national game. It is highly localized. Most players in the game will be playing within a local community setting. So within one ship, there are simply community members on that ship. You're not going to have a scenario where you have people from different places in a city, even or the state or the country on a one ship together. That doesn't happen in Spaceperium. In Spaceperium, everybody on that ship is within the domain of the ship. So we have zonal ships, which is zip code based. That means all the players in that zip code are on that ship. That's it. Period. So they all share the same experience. When the shopping thing happens, they're all there, and they all have to go through and shop on that moment. Okay, so during the game, they'll be prompted to uh, do the replicator phase, and they'll go in and they'll pick up a few items that they've been needing. Usually, they're encouraged to make their shopping list and just hold it for when they're playing the game, and then go into the replicator. And then obviously when they just need to have something shipped right away, or in the case of the food, they need lunch, they just go and use the replicator at any time. But usually they'll hold their purchase orders until the gameplay, and so therefore they're racking up the highest point scores when they're actually in gameplay. And so we do have services. So if you have any type of services that you want to feature, especially localized, this is powerful. This, again, the replicator here for the Spaceperium program is just a wonderful tool that you can use to reach customers locally. On top of that, we also have the mall ship and the circus. Now, just like in real life, Spaceperium is in the stars. A lot of it's on Earth, by the way, but there's the time that they're on mission. They're in this out there in the solar system or in other galaxies, etc., etc., and in the future time frame, and they are um, like just like what we have now. We have malls, but in Spaceperium, we have stationary malls. That means they're on little like asteroids. And when I say stationary, they're just habiting around a solar system or something. But we also have the traveling circus. In both of these scenarios, provides great opportunities for commercial interest businesses to feature their products, new product releases. We can throw in there a few contests, especially in the circus. The circus it comes up during the game, and that's traveling nationwide, and we can have all the ships participate in different types of contests and whatnot. Advertisers can come in and promote certain types of new products and services, and actually include those as a contest, and to stir up the interest, and within that atmosphere of circus and entertainment. The mall, especially, also just like a mall, different types of storefronts there within that experience. And all of this is going to be held through the Replicator, and it'll be part of the gameplay. So the Spaceparium has a very it's very commercial friendly, and it's integrated into gameplay in within a closed market, and the members are incentivized to use the facility of the replicator in all their engagements with commerce. And so that is, again, a market that will be a segment of the marketplace that will be highly incentivized to participate with the advertisers, with the sponsors here, those acquiring access to our members, to our players. So that's a great development. I had put a post earlier this week. One of the things we're going to talk about was the post. I offered a free participation in this replicator to anyone that can guess how much money the replicator is going to produce for us here, for Spaceperium, for me. It was just a guess, and then those who would get the right guess would have a free page here, so that you can make profit when for when people go and shop through the replicator. I think it was an easy way for anyone to get into having something online that's going to make money for them without it costing you anything. It's free. All you have to do is guess the amount of money that this software is going to create for yours truly once it's released to our Spaceperium community. Okay, so that's the guess. Now, the money is not the money that when they make purchases. We're not part of that. It's just the money with the software itself, because the software has to be purchased separately, downloaded individually by each of the players. So I've never said what the price was, didn't put it down anywhere, never said it. So it's a guess right now. But those of you who are graced enough to be able to guess how much money that this is going to make for me on a yearly basis, you get free page, even if you don't have anything. You don't know what to do. Oh, well, how it doesn't matter. I'll make it for you. I'll put it there. You just have to have a place to get your money, like a bank account or PayPal, whatever. I need to know where to send you money when they make the purchases. That's all. Okay. But other than that, it's just a guess. How much does that cost you? Okay. So that's it. So if anybody has a guess, you can comment below. If you're on Facebook, you can use the comment area to comment. I'm not looking at the chats now, so forgive me. Let me get that chat thing going here. I did not get the chat room up and running, so let me do that so that you guys can comment. One moment. If you've been commenting all along, I'll tell you when you can repeat your comment, and then you can have your comments there. Right now, the comments are up, and so you can make any comment. I should be able to see it now in the chat room. Okay, so that is running, and but if you're on Facebook and watching me, just guess. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free, you know. And if you win, you'll be in business without doing anything else. Simple as that. How more easier can it get? All right. So here it is. So that's one thing. So again, the replicator is uh, a great piece of ingenuity, and it's going to be a wonderful add-on to the Spaceperium experience for those who are participating in the game. There is a limit. Obviously, those who are interested in Spaceperium, there's a limit to how many people can play, especially in this beginning phase. So you have to get in early. Okay, right now we have openings for Game Master. It's a business. It's not a job, but it's a business opportunity for game masters. So if you're a game master, or you always wanted to be, or thought maybe you're somebody who wants to get into gaming as a business, want to make money from games, maybe you're on Twitch and you got a little channel there, and you're trying to find out, a big channel, and you're trying to find out how to make more money in the game business. Well, this is perfect for you. Become a game master with Spaceperium, and you'll be set for life, okay, and beyond your survivors. So we have a landing page, which is it's located at mycbh.com / LP, like long play LP / and then you put in Game Master, just regular, lowercase letters, Game Master, and that's it. That'll take you to the landing page of our Spaceperium Game Master program, and there you will see a nice explanatory video, give you all the details, and you'll have three options. Each one has a different price tag to it, and you should choose the best option in terms of your capability, not just financial capability, but in terms of being able to move around. If you're not able to move around too much, then I suggest you grab your zonal captain position and business, so you can do that, and that just keeps you in your local neighborhood. But if you're able to move around the city, I suggest the Citadel for you, commanding the Citadel ship, actually. And then if you're able to move around and you like to move around, or you're already moving around your state, then the Statal Admiralty is what you want to do. And obviously each one has its rank. So this is how you gain the rank, basically, and you're buying into it, and you're profiting from it. So it is a business based game environment. And there's an economic basis to this game as well. Players, there are people who play the game, who are come in as players in the game, as well as the game masters. You guys are making income from the game. The game produces income. So if you're interested in earning income while playing a game, this is the only opportunity you'll have, because in the future, when we release the video games and other things like that, there will not be an income generation phase to that. So it'll be just like any other video game at that point. A little better, and with some differences, but the main money makers are the ones who get in now. So you guys will be making money by playing this game by joining now. Don't wait till later, because later they won't be making money later. Not as much as you guys will be making, if anything. Okay, so that covers that. And so these are the things that happened this week. Anybody has wants to make a guess? There's no limit to how many guesses. You can just keep guessing all you want. Share this video out so other people can participate and win a free page in the replicator, and that'll replicate cash for you. So again, opportunities that I'm giving gracefully to people. So it's just a matter of you hearing. Sometimes people don't want, they get hard headed. They don't want to hear, but then they miss out on these goodies. All right. So that's the way it is. It's the way it flows. Hey. And then somebody can complain that I charge too much for this or that. I'm giving something for free. Where are they now? Don't. Where are the complainers? I'm giving away stuff for free. On Sundays, I give teaching for free. Free advice, free stuff. People complain that I charge $250 an hour. Well, come to church. I do that. I give you the same information in church for free. You just have to sit there and listen. That's all, you see. So again, the charge is because you don't want to sit and listen. That's why. But if you come, I get free stuff for you. Yeah, it's free. All right. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the war in Iran or with Iran. I mean, what are we to think about these things? You see the silliness they're doing with Trump, really. And I guess we have to we have to be thankful, really, for everything that's going on, because it simply is going to prepare us for the next 4 years. It's going to be the same thing for the next 4 years. So, just get used to it. Really, it's going to be 5 years because we just started 2020. But for the next 5 years, it's going to be just the same type of thing. So we have the House of Representatives. It's only half of the Congress. It's only one. It's the smaller of the houses of Congress. A lot of people don't understand how the government works. The House of Representatives is the smaller house. The Senate is the bigger house. Okay, it's like the senior department. So you can't say the government is restricting Trump, because it's not. Only the House has, because the House is full of Democrats. Oh my, how shocking! Yes, that is why they're limiting the ones who are trying to impeach him, and holding the impeachment. They haven't sent it to the Senate, because of course, if you don't send it to the Senate, there's no end to this, right? It's just simply, that you voted for impeachment, but that's it. And then now we have this vote to limit or restrict the president. What the Congress always had the responsibility to limit war. They're the ones who declare war and limit war. The only thing that the president was ever allowed to do, and still is under the Constitution, can't be taken away, is the right to command the armed forces. So at any moment, he can send the forces out to respond to any threat. And I don't think anybody's even suggesting that to remove that power from the president would be really stupid. You're cutting your own throats. That's totally idiotic. That means you want to restrict him. If something happens, if an enemy attacks the U.S., the president can't do anything until the Republicans and the Democrats get together and decide if they're going to go by the rules or not, if they're going to have 10 minutes each or not, if they're going to have witnesses or not. You want to go through that process while the country is getting attacked, while people are dying, cities are being bombed, our soldiers are getting killed. You want that? Is that the way it's supposed to be? Because that's not the way our forefathers decided it to be. They decided we need quick action, and that's one person. That's why we have the president. If you don't want that, then we don't have no more presidents. We just do things with Congress. That's it. Total idiocy. But again, it's like their familiar camp, those who always have the idiocy under the edges of their tongues. This is their familiar campground. So, again, so that's what went on during the week. It's again, it doesn't do anything. President, there's nothing new here. Every president has 30 days. Can send the troops anywhere on the planet. 30 days. Congress has to come back with approving it or disapproving it. And that's it. That's how it works, and that's how it's going to still work. So they can try to show something else, but that's not the reality. The reality is that the president of the United States will always have the authority to send troops any place on the planet and to send bombs and to take care of terrorists and people who get out of line whenever it has to happen. Now, if we're going to stay at war, it's a different thing. Every president has a right to have 30 days of war, period. And that's how it's always been, and that's the way it's always going to be. People got to understand that. The United States and people, especially in other countries, have to understand that the United States can and will always have the power to have war with you for 30 days and more days if Congress agrees with it. If not, then we got 30 days to blow the heck out of you. And 30 days is more than enough time. So that's the bottom line. So, again, Democrats seem to be doing a disservice to the country because it makes us look like, we can't respond and we can't do things. We can do a lot. 30 days is ample time to destroy anyone. Ample time. Not to go play, back tit for tat war, because tit for tat war, that we have to walk on the ground and look for who we're looking for and other thing. That type of war, that takes time. So yeah, that if that's what the United States wants to do, to be nice, yeah, we have a 30-day limit, and then Congress has to approve for more time. But if we don't want to be nice, we can just carpet bomb the country, and we can do that in a matter of days. We don't need the 30 days for that. So that'll bring massive destruction. It'll keep you guys busy for the next century trying to rebuild, and that's that. We'll wait for the smoke to clear. So that can happen in just a matter of days. So, let's put things in the right perspective. For us here in the United States, and also for them any place else. So put this stuff in the right perspective. What the Democrats are doing, they're misguiding, and maybe that's a good thing. After a while, yeah, let the enemy think that, yeah, we're safe. Let them think that. That's also another good point. It's actually good that the enemies, other bad actors out there, think that we have to do things like the corporation. We have to go slow and just tit for tat and this and that. Let them think that. I think the Russians know better. Putin knows. I think the Chinese know. Jinping, he knows. And I think the North Koreans should know. I don't think he does know, but maybe he should know. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But the smaller guys out there will say, "Oh, they're celebrating. Oh yeah, they got Trump on a leash. They got Trump on a leash." Don't think that, because 30 days, it's 30 days. Okay. All right. So we have some of that. Let's see what else is going on before I end this for this morning. You have that Australia fire is just so horrendous. And people, you think about your life. You have the earthquakes also in Puerto Rico, in Iran as well. People in Iran, I don't know if you've done any research. People in Iran have a certain feeling, sentiments also in what's happened recently. You should be doing some research. And the actual people of Iran, what they really feel when they're not under the oppression of having to say certain things or perform in certain dramas. But you should look into that. It might educate you. But we're having a great amount of disruption on the planet. Otherwise, and a few months ago, I did say that something was going to start happening, and it was going to be heard. And then the thing is that now we're seeing, and I don't say that to claim to be a prophet of any sort. I've never claimed to be a prophet at any time, um, or claim to be one. I've always I just never did that, and I don't practice doing that. But when I do get the urging, I will just say, because I learned throughout all of my life that my urgings actually come out to be true. So in for that reason, I'm getting these urges for one reason or not. It's not to keep it private. So I will vociferate them, and that was one of them. And then now we're seeing something there. But I don't want people looking at me as, oh, he's a prophet. He is speaking. He God gives him information. What's going to happen? Don't look at me like that, because I've never professed to be. God has never told me that I am that. All I'm saying is that throughout my life, all of my years, I have noticed that when I have an urging, a feeling, if you will, that is absolutely correct. It does happen to come out that way. And speaking about that a little bit, the I also have the gift of healing, but not for people, apparently. I can heal machines. I pray over the computer and it comes back to life. I had that few instances. Now I have one still here that, and I don't, and the problem is I still have this computer that died on me, I think about a year ago now or so. And I haven't laid a hands on, because I don't fool around with God's things like that. It's just that throughout my time in industry and in past brick and mortar businesses, there were times where I had a very urgent need for the computer to start working, like in between a project, and it started giving me hassles. And I prayed over it, and it did begin to work. Even the repair guy, who could not find out what was the matter with it, he was shocked, because I told him, well, you left here, and you know, you saw the way the computer was, and you had no idea what was happening. Why wasn't it working? You replaced it, this and that. This did all the different troubleshooting things he could imagine doing, and I saw him do it, and it still didn't work. And I said, "Well, this is it. This is a paperweight right now." And the Lord just it urged me again. Those urgings is lay your hands on it and pray. And that's what I did. I said, Lord, I don't want you to be offended. I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything, but I need this computer to work. Simply, this has to work. And you know the situation that we're in. And you know what? And that thing started working. And I have a few stories like that as well. But again, I haven't done this because I'm not saying that I'm a machine healer or anything like that. It gets silly, doesn't it? But in any case, I'm just letting you know. I'm getting ready. I'm getting very close to again burdening the Lord with getting this machine up and running. But we'll see. In any case, I just said that to be humorous, because it's kind of funny. Eh, Amen, amen. So again, when the Lord gives the urging, we have a message of an invitation to Kenya. I'm here. I'm available worldwide for ministry if the Lord sends me there. Right now, you can see me on Roku. TV and on Amazon Fire TV. It's the closest I'm going to get to your country until the Lord sends us out personally. We're under TSPCI and on those networks. Those are TV sets and also devices that you can find in your TV store, wherever they sell TVs. And they can be TVs also. There are Roku TVs and there are Fire TV, Amazon Fire TVs that you can purchase, and it already has those networks on it. And I'm there under TSPCI. We have the Shabbat teaching, and also we have Bible studies. That's the name with the TSPCI, Shabbat, TSPCI Bible studies. Okay. Otherwise, keep praying. The Lord will send us out when He deems it good or not. We're in the Lord's hands on that one. Okay. Iraq is calling for the U.S. to prepare for troop withdrawal. Yeah. Okay. Again, like I said, we're not going to make some fun about this or not. I'm just saying that this is the empowerment, the encouragement that the Democrats have given the Iraqis. I mean, the Iraqi and the Iranians. Obviously, these guys are trying to do something, and it's probably just, it's not even political. It is mostly religious, right? It's going to be religious oriented, religiously based, and to mix it with politics, it's a game that Americans will play between the parties by partisanship here, or partisanship, um, one against the other, and play into that game that they're playing over there. But you guys have to understand, this is a religious war. We're in a religious war, and this is part of it. So we're not fighting against just political forces. We're not just fighting against countries here. We're dealing with a religious issue. And this is what's all behind all of this. So again, these guys are given into their religious things. You guys who are giving them support, you're not realizing, and you guys are anti-religious. You guys are just don't. You guys are anti-religious, and you're supporting their religiosity over ours here. By the way, the American religions you don't care about, but you do want them to have freedom of religion, even to overwhelm the American religions. It's just ridiculous. I guess it's one way to get rid of Christianity. Because who else are you trying to get rid of? Maybe Israel too, right? So maybe that's also when you know that there's a problem here. Maybe it's all about Israel. Maybe it is, but while there's Christianity defending Israel, that's a problem. So you want to get rid of the Christians, you want to weaken Christianity, especially here in the United States, so that it leaves Israel unprotected. But you fail to understand, Israel's protected by Yahweh, Jehovah. You will see his hand. You will see it strong. Okay? So just keep it going. Keep it up, and you will see what's going to happen with that one. Boeing hands over internal employee messages describing 737 MAX as designed by clowns. Now you can only imagine what these guys, they're the same guys that have idiots on their tips of their tongue. I'm sure. The language is very similar, isn't it? So, internal employee messages. Now, what type of employees are these? There are obviously employees that have access to the messaging system. They're probably the ones who are collaborating on various systems of this 737. So, I mean, if they're saying it was designed by clowns, I mean, who's on the design team here? Okay, so why weren't these guys who knew better? Why weren't they able to put their 2 cents worth? As far as I understand, you should be part of the design group. It seems that we have a system or a culture where you're not involved in the process, but you have everything to say about it. This is basically culture. As a matter of fact, I'm doing the same thing. We're reporters. All of us are just reporting and opinionated reporting. We're just as good as CNN. Okay, all of us, all of us should be working for CNN. All right, so that's the bottom line there. Okay. We have an unexpected twist in the quantum system. I'll leave that for a more scientific broadcast. There's a lot of great stuff happening in science, by the way, so you should look at your news, look into the scientific things because they're fascinating. Fascinating. So you should be learning something there. Let's see. Elon Musk just dropped a Bitcoin bomb on Twitter again. So he probably said something. Talk about Bitcoin. It's another thing. I made a prediction a few months ago as well. It's come out. We're still waiting for the bigger dip. Bitcoin is trying to get up again, but it's just not happening. Um, so it could go up. According to the prediction, it was going to drip down, but it wouldn't be the big dip. I said that and last year. So you have to dig for those videos in my cryptocurrency playlist. And then, but then it would be followed whenever, and I'm really looking at 2021 before any big dips occur. But that's just guessing. I'm not saying that's when it's going to happen. But I do know or have that urgent feeling that the Bitcoin is going to drop like a rock, like a rock. And then when it drops like a rock, that's really when I'm not giving financial advice. I'm just saying, I'm saying like my old friend Saul Stiglitz, a wonderful Jewish man. We shared great times, great sayings with each other, teachings and whatnot, sharing life with each other. Was an old man then, and he's gone now, but a really great friend. I've always been friends with Jewish people. I had to remind or inform some people who want to be Jewish now of that fact. But in any case, he told me, once you hit the bottom, there's only one way to go. So Bitcoin is going to hit the bottom, and like he said to me, very wise words. There's only one way to go, and so that is going to be a fact with Bitcoin. That's going to happen in the future. Again, just saying things, right? Okay. So Elon Musk just dropped the Bitcoin, his own Bitcoin statement. So we're going to see what that's about. I haven't done a Bitcoin program in some time. I'm going to do that maybe during the weekend. But it says one Friday morning, Elon Musk dropped a Bitcoin bomb on Twitter again in an innuendo-filled tweet. The chief executive of both SpaceX and Tesla joked that Bitcoin is not my safe word. If you don't know what safe word means, please search it up. Bitcoin is not my safe word. Musk's tweet has already gone viral by crypto Twitter standards, garnering 13,000 likes. It's a one time of writing this, as of the time of writing this, and gaining hundreds and more likes per minute as time passes, and now even been featured on Reverend Dr. Rosato's broadcast. Woo, that's really important. That's the real big indicator. The tweet due to it coming straight out of left field has surprisingly riled up the cryptocurrency community. Bitcoin 2020, the Twitter account for the event by the same name, responded to Musk's random tweet with a thinking emoji, to which the billionaire tech entrepreneur responded with a winky face. Okay, so again, he was always someone not liking Bitcoin, or at least making public jokes about it. But then he also does things that show that he likes Bitcoin. While often referring to Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies currencies in jest, he joked he was the chief executive of Dogecoin during April Fool's Day in 2019, once randomly tweeted Ethereum. Musk is a bona fide fan of the technology behind Bitcoin and other digital assets. He has to be. Even we are. I mean, if you're interested in space to any degree in technology, the blockchain has to interest you. It actually is a future. This is the start of very great things in blockchain. So he has to love it. He's a true entrepreneur and visionary of space technology of the future, then he has to. You know that. But he also knows the issue with cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. He's realistic. He knows what it's all psychology at this point. The blockchain technologies that he and I, and as well as others, are envisioning, we're not there yet. So obviously, all we have is to have a little bit of joviality with all of this issue, because there's nothing else except people going nuts or losing it, or having faith in it at this point. It's just a game at this point. Musk did admit, however, that he isn't too enamored with Bitcoin's proof of work, which is a consensus mechanism, noting that it is an energy intensive process. Despite his concerns, the PayPal co founder noted that Bitcoin and its ilk are great as they bypass currency controls, especially in nations embroiled in financial and political turmoil like Venezuela. He added that cryptocurrencies are also a far better way to transfer value than pieces of paper. Okay, so and so he's also been spotted holding a Bitcoin related book at a conference, though it's unclear whether or not he was reading it. But he, at least he's associating with it. He has to be. I mean, it's clear that he has to be. I mean, I am convinced that he is, if not, he has to be at least secretly involved with it in one way or another, even to the point of he's probably even looking at how to do something in that manner, because he was part of PayPal. So that already was a money processing business he was part of, which I believe is the one that catapulted his wealth right now. So I would really be surprised if he wasn't doing it. Even I have started my own cryptocurrency, a Spaceperium Coin. It's a closed coin, of course. It's not going to be traded on the market as long as I'm alive, but it's something that we have developed for use in the game. And as you know, it will be the game is hybrid, so it will be used like as currency, as money for our game members, our game players. And then after I pass away, the governing board that's left will decide if and when it becomes a marketable on any public marketplace. It doesn't have to. There's no. It's not like I'm doing it to do that. It wasn't the reason I created it. Again, it's the fascination with the blockchain and its application in the future. So I had to represent it in some fashion. So that's what we have. We have this Spaceperium Coin, and I'm sure that Elon is planning something. I said it. I'm sure he's planning something. Wait and see. Okay. All right. So let's see. Um, we have some more silliness from people on the left. Um, we have MacDill Air Force Base lockdown. We have the Democrats brace for a round two impeachment witness fight. I believe I started talking about Puerto Rico and the earthquakes, right? And I went into the profit type of thing, and I didn't finish. I believe what we wanted to express. There's so many things that are wrong with the world. And when these things happen, people, you need to understand, life is not guaranteed to anyone. We are working with lent time, borrowed time, as it's called. All of us, every one of us, we are, what we call life is actually borrowed time. So we have to be more cognizant of how you're wasting that time. But I think most human beings waste time. You waste your time. You're not using it for the greater good. I think there's no better way to live life than to enriching life for others. And I think by enriching life for others, you're enriching your own life. And I think most of us are selfish. And when we're selfish, then we waste time. You're wasting time. You're worrying about things that you have no control over. You don't have any control over them. If you were enriching other people's lives, then that itself is a covering for you. It's an issue of covering, and that's what the Torah teaches. It's about covering. It's about after man has sinned, okay, we sin, but then what is our cover? And that's what you see early on in Scripture is the main teaching early on. It's about the covering. And what should we cover ourselves with? What should be our modus operandi and things like that? The things of that we need to be looking at. Are we supposed to be looking at things selfishly, or we're supposed to be looking at things unselfishly, and therefore looking out for our neighbor? Are we our brother's keeper? I don't think that question's ever been answered appropriately by anyone. It is an answer. It is a question that has to be answered not by God, but by man. And that's the question we have for you. Are you your brother's keeper? I mean, what is your emphasis? So you have Democrats bracing for round two of impeachment witness fight. Here we're going for another fight for about witnesses on this thing on the Senate side. We all know how this is going to go down. Again, all of this is going to happen is that the Republicans and the Democrats, uh, the Democrats are forced to go by what the Republicans do now. Because it's right now out of their hands, except Pelosi's trying to keep it in her hands, but it's really not any longer in her hands any longer. It is now in the Senate's hand, really, because they're going to proceed with or without the delivery of the paper, and they are going to create their own show. Now it's called the Republican show for the 2020 election of re-election of Donald Trump. That's what's going to happen right now. Okay, so I think in hindsight, really, the debacle of the impeachment, which really should have been held later to get their most impact, they lost it because now the Republicans have this thing, and they're going to play it to the hilt all the way through to election day. Bloomberg to fund a sizable campaign effort through November, even if I like the way they use the if there. But even if he loses the Democratic nomination, how is it an if? The Democrat, again, not going to get the super delegates. The one who's going to get the super delegate, as it looks like right now, is Biden. And again, the Democrats are going to do the same thing they did with Clinton. And I don't see why is it that they cannot see that it's not going to work. I don't see how they can't. And I still don't see how Democrats continue to support this system. And I don't see why Bernie, of all people, is still trying to win the Democratic nomination. it seems to prove to me that they really don't understand what's going on. They don't understand what's going on. If I were Bernie, I wouldn't run for the Democratic election candidacy. I would run as an independent. Now, knowing that won't be able to win, because the problem is, I know what Bernie's trying to do. He's trying to convince more Democrats. This is what's happening on each side. There are more socialists and liberal thinkers trying to change both parties because they know that without changing both parties or either party, they have no chance in having one of their candidates reach the White House. They know that. So they're trying to change each party from within. From within. That's what they're doing on each side. I know that because I've been doing the investigations into the parties and their components. So you have massive as can be garnered, efforts by the liberal thinkers out there on both sides of the aisle. So you have great inroads they've done on the Democratic Party, but they're not making too much of an inroad. They may have some, but not that much into the GOP. But and anyway, but that's the standard rule. That's the book, the playbook they're going by, and they're going by trying, like Bernie. He's trying every time he runs, he inches a few more, especially the young people. That's not an accident. It's not an accident. Bernie knows what he's doing. He's going for the young people. These young people in the Democratic Party are tomorrow's Democrats. So he knows Bernie's winning his game because his game is convincing more young people to, as they grow up, Democrat Party members, to be more socialist in mentality. So that he is winning. He will Bernie Sanders will go down in the socialist history books as the key leader who brought more socialist mentality to the Democratic Party. And if the Democratic Party ever goes socialist, it's you can hang that hat on Bernie Sanders. He's the one making it happen. He's the one doing it right now. So he's running out of idealism. That's why he's doing it this way, because he knows he's not going to win the nomination. But he's not looking to win the nomination to be president. He's looking to win the hearts and minds of the future Democratic Party, which are the ones who are supporting him right now. That's what he's doing. Okay, so now you know what's happening. Okay, so Bloomberg, I mean, how even if he loses Democrat, they know he's going to lose the Democratic nomination. They know he's going to lose. Bloomberg knows that. He knows that. Again, why is he running when he knows that he can't win? And let's go, and we won't go into that because that's a topic for Viral Political Mondays, right? Let's go into the point of the fact that he's a billionaire. Look at the difference. You see, now he talks a lot of smack about Trump. These are two billionaires. This guy criticizes Trump, but look at the performance. See that? It's like I said. Trump is a very singular person. He's unique. Bloomberg, even though he's a billionaire, he's not Trump, right? And people say, yeah, you're all right, he ain't Trump, but he's also not winning. You understand that? That's the difference. Trump is a champion. He's successful because he's overcome odds. And this is what the Democrats don't understand. You are creating the fodder that Trump thrives on. So everything you guys throw at Trump, he uses that as fuel. That actually helps him get elected. The Democrats don't get it. They don't understand that. See, because they know like billionaires like Bloomberg. See, Bloomberg would collapse if he was dealt with like Trump is being dealt with, because Bloomberg doesn't know what to do. See, Trump is an expert at handling opposition. See, so you can't get Trump with opposition because he's an expert of taking opposition and coming out winning. But Bloomberg isn't. See, Bloomberg just has to have his plan and work his plan, and hopefully, nothing comes against it, because then he'll have to like, he'll just have a sizable campaign, even if he doesn't win. That's the Bloomberg style. Okay. Well, at least we had a sizable effort. We made a sizable war effort, even though we didn't win. This is what you're going to be getting from a billionaire mind like Bloomberg. See? So this is a very dangerous thing, right? Because it's like a corporation. Well, we tried to do it. We put all the money here. We did that. We established this and that, blah blah. It just didn't work. Some things don't work. So that's all. So this is how it's discarded. But Trump doesn't do things like that. He takes things and uses it for his advantage. Not that everything that Trump does succeeds, no, but when it fails, it's not because he failed at it. It's because, and even if he did, let's just say, yeah, he failed at it, he takes that failure and turns it into gold. And that's what Bloomberg's not able to do. See, he just walks away from, oops, it's poop. Let's just walk away with it and we'll go on with our mainstay. So that's basically where Bloomberg is at. It's a basic difference, and that's why you see that language being used. California should have its own generic prescription drug label, the governor says of California. Guess so. U.S. firefighters cheered at Australia airport as fires worsen. New evacuations order. The U.S. is coming in to help our Aussie neighbors, our friends over there, and it's a good thing that the United States is doing. And these firefighters, again, they're facing fire, they're facing certain death, and going over there to try to stop what's going on. I mean, you look at with all the things we're doing against global warming and trying to stop pollution and whatnot in the world, and then you see what's going on in Australia. It's kind of like futile, isn't it? To what sense of at one point to another, it's like all the work that was done to stop the chimneys from spewing out black smoke is gone up in flames right now with what's happening in Australia. Not their fault, of course, but it's just the way it is. Just the way it is. Now we got a new volcano up in the middle of the ocean there in the Indian Ocean. That volcano is going to spew out also carbon into the air. Go figure. All right. Because the Earth is warming. It's global warming. Yeah. Oprah Winfrey says she supports Prince Harry and Meghan Markle on Megxit, whatever's going on over there. Informants in Iraq, Syria helped U.S. kill Iran's Soleimani. Informants in Iraq and Syria helped U.S. kill a big terrorist. That's exactly right, because that's what he is. Holes in Iran plane crash. How about that? The Ukrainian plane. I'm surprised they haven't tried to peg that on the U.S. Right? Again, the U.S. would have no business trying to shoot down a plane over Iran. Well, why would the U.S. be doing that? Matter of fact, the U.S. was still on its way to get over there, and this Ukrainian plane crash, the shooting up in the air. The ones nervous about something flying over their heads is the Iranian military. So they shot down this Ukrainian plane. Isn't that so unfortunate? Terrible. Absolutely terrible. There seems to be no communication out there. Now, how can this country be able to defend itself against the U.S.? They're shooting down their own. They're pulling out the guns from their holsters and shooting themselves in the foot. These are the ones that we're supposed to allow to use nuclear weapons. We're supposed to let them you have nuclear weapons. Why not? Okay, I can figure. I see 170 odd reasons why they shouldn't. It's a menace. They don't know what they're doing. It's apparent. It's apparent that they have no idea what they're doing, and giving them nuclear weapons would be totally disastrous. Right? It's almost as bad as North Korea, if not worse. All right. So in the business world, we have the jobs creation for December. Obviously, Christmas time, you're going to always have this increase in jobs, but we also have uh, a growth in joblessness now, where jobless claims have. It says unemployment surged to more than 1.5 year high right now. So there is a lot of unemployment still surging going on. But again, that's to be expected. There's a lot of moving going around. So a lot of things happening, a lot of readjustments. So you're going to have that. It's always an up and down. There's always reasons. I know people personally who are now unemployed, but that was for other reasons. It has nothing to do with the economy. There's hiring all around here. People are getting hired, but certain groups of people getting unemployed for other reasons. So we've seen that that's going to happen. Um, we have certain Zantac heartburn drug, Ratidine's possible cancer link investigated by California lab Emory Pharma. So we have to, you guys got to be watching out for your medication. We see a few things in entertainment here. We won't bother with that. Sports, you guys can enjoy that because I'm not into sports at all, mostly. And they have the 13 restaurants who will be the first humans on Mars, which is a special note for us here at Spaceperium. The 13, I would suggest all Christians begin to pray for these folks. They're valiant, they're brave, they're heroes already from today. They've been selected, they've passed the test and the muster to sacrifice their lives, really, for science and for the human race. We applaud them here at Spaceperium, and we wish each and every one of them a success, and we pray for them. So join us here at Spaceperium and praying for these folks. Here they are. Put them on the screen. I think they've earned the right to be featured here on my broadcast, that they can be seen, and for each of you to pray over them and take a moment now and look at these brave souls. Amen. Winners, they are uh, examples of humanity, excellence in our human race, excellent examples of us. They are going to put their hands in their peers, put their lives, I'm sorry, in their peers' hands, and going to Mars, be the first ones. And that's like the highest risk. And we need to pray for our space program that they make it safer and make things in a way that we can help when they are needing help. And we just don't want, one thing is things blowing up in midair, not working instantly and whatnot. Another thing is to be far away and we can't get to them in time. It's a different matter. A little bit like the being stuck in the cave, like those kids. If you remember, in the Philippines, I believe it was, or Thailand. I think it was Thailand. They were stuck in that cave, and it was really a hardship for us. Advanced as we are, we're going to Mars now, and we still weren't able to get quickly into that cave and extract those kids. It took some time, and just a few weeks ago, The one of the divers who went in to get them had passed away now from an infection that he caught when he tried to do the rescuing. Again, it's not easy here on Earth. Imagine now going out into space and Mars and reaching out to these. These are the early explorers. These are the ones that have to do without any future technologies of and rapidity or and speed, to be able to reach to them quickly or get supplies to them quickly. It's a lot of logistics involved. So take a moment in your days from now on, actually, through to this future mission into Mars, and pray over these women and men and all of the space program really during this time of development and great human advancement. I applaud it, and this is part of what Spaceperium actually is about doing our own thing. Even though it's a game, there's actually a serious part to the game, a little research that we do here and there to get people more knowledgeable about space and bringing the mindset of humanity more into bigger things. I mean, we're getting too big for our britches here on the earth. We can't get along here. We're living here too close to each other. It's getting uncomfortable. So, one of the therapies that I'm doing, actually I'm putting it to work, is actually to broaden our sights and get us thinking out, looking out there instead of looking at who to bomb and who to bother next. But go out and do something with your life. So basically, we're doing that on a massive scale, and I think Spaceperium will play a role in that. At least that's what we're hoping. So keep those guys in your prayers, and they're basically going to be with us in ours too. So good luck, guys. Stay well, and to our space people, work hard, fellows. These guys and humanity is basically in your hands. So let's do a good job here, okay? Let's not design things as clowns. 737. Okay. All right. So, and now in the health news, uh, we have the respiratory virus on the rise in Utah. Rates especially high in Washington and Iron counties. So again, you guys got to be careful out there. Get your flu shots. American Cancer Society denies Trump credit for falling cancer deaths. It's okay. He was still the president while the cancer deaths are going down, so he gets bragging rights. It's as simple as that. It doesn't matter. We know you guys are doing your work and whatnot, but it's the atmosphere, right? It's the environment. Child in Roosevelt County becomes first to die from flu in New Mexico this season. At least the one thing talking about the cancer thing, at least they can't blame him on anything, right? He's interfering with our cancer research. He's not allowing us to reduce the death rate. You can't say that, right? So I think he did something good. He is good. He didn't step on your progress, so that's a good thing, isn't it? Child in Roosevelt County becomes the first to die from flu in New Mexico this season. Again, let's take care of these children, parents, all this thing with the shots and all that. Kids are going to die. They're going to die. Humanity throughout history has always died from different plagues and different things, So when you don't want to have some science, you're going to just be resorting to regular life. And survival in regular life is very less than it is with our medicated life now these days. So, you're taking your chances, and some of you, and many more of you, will lose than if you would have taken the medication. So that's something you have to realize. When you don't want to give your children medication, you are wanting to regress to caveman times, okay, where the death rate was high. Fortunately, there was no TV, no cable, so there was a lot of reproduction. So your kids died. It was part of the game plan. You just have more kids. So that's the way it worked in the old days. Now you're not having more kids. You just want one, two, because that's all you can afford, right? Don't deny the medication, because one or two is about, like 10% of those that died in the past without it. So you got to look at the numbers here. This is about math. So let's have some sense out there. Come on, come on. Uh, the state of humanity, and with this I'll finish, is appalling. We have a lot of people who are just ignorant, and the ignorance is making you regress evolution. In terms of evolution, at least intellectually, cognitively, and you're not thinking right. You're simply thinking dumb. You forget that when you go backwards, the systems of old take more control. Natural systems are not easy on man. It's not easy to survive. It isn't easy for animals to survive. That's why bunnies have so many children, right? It's not easy. The reason that nature makes you have reproduction is because survival of the next generation is not easy. It's not guaranteed. You see how those turtles lay so many eggs, and you see the pictures of all of these hatchlings coming out, only to be eaten when they go into water by big fish. And that's the reality. When fish lay all these hundreds of eggs, why did nature give them the ability to hatch hundreds of eggs? Because 60 of them are going to get chewed up by a big fish. So you have to understand that. I understand that when you don't give your children medicine, 60% are going to be eaten up by the big fish. You got to understand how nature works. Why do we have one, two, three, four children? Because we have medication. And in the old days, what would have killed all of them before they were 20 now doesn't. Now they can live to be 80 if everything else goes well. See, but don't forget that that's the reason 3 or 4 kids reach to their 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. It's because of the medication now. Because without it, you ain't getting past 20. So let's people, you educate yourself and have some understanding. Human race will not survive if you guys keep being stupid. That's it. Take care. Until next time, thanks for watching. We'll probably do, what time is it now? I won't have any time to do the other thing. So later on this afternoon, I'll come back in and do the Rent to Be Wealthy program. We're going to do that segment again. I have a few other questions that I've added to the Q&A. I'm going to present that program, a new program we have for 12 lucky people. And that's the one. I haven't posted it in that landing page yet because I want to do the new one now and then use that to put on the landing page. Basically, if you can spare $100 more on your monthly rental, then you can become wealthy, and that program will show you how to do that. So take a look at it, and again, only 12 lucky people will have the opportunity to take advantage of that. Remember that free thing, the Replicator. Give me a guess. How much money we're going to make from that Replicator? Throw in your guess there, and the lucky winners will get free participation, free page in the Replicator. Usually will cost $25 a month to have one page on there, and you'll get it for free. So you're talking about a lifetime of $250. I'm sorry, even more, $300 a year in savings, and not having to pay for anything, just making profits. And so that's a big deal. So take advantage of that. Guess away. One of you will be a lucky winner, or a few of you. I'm not going to say how much it is. Actually, I'm going to let you guys guess and just simply award the winners the free pages in there. And that'll be it. Okay? So take care. Thanks for watching. See you in a few hours.